In today's video, we will be demoing the Good Measure Circle template. Hi, Kaye England here, and today we're going to probably send you around to circles because we're going to be talking about the circle template, Good Measure tool. And make sure you understand I said template. It is the only tool in the collection of Good Measure that really we don't consider it a ruler because it is a little bit different with its markings. And there's been some confusion about how you would demo this and how you would actually affix it. So what I'm going to do is give you close-up shots of actually how to do the tool. So let's take a look at it. This tool is marked from, I call it 0, all the way out to a 7.5 potential circle. And what those little marks are, every mark that you see here from, and I'm going to get a pointer here. You see a 1, 1.5, 1, 2, 2.5. Now we don't have quarters. These are all whole or half-inch increments. And what that means is if I wanted a 1-inch finish circle, then that's where my finish line would be, but I would come out and make another mark at the next mark, and that will give me my seam allowance. So let's just take a peek. Now this is all highly engineered in that you need special tools like a bulletin board, push pin. And one of the things I've learned that all push pins are not equal. Some are fat and some are skinny. So you want a skinny bulletin board push pin that will go in that little opening. You can always take an emery board and file it down if you need to. I found another fabulous use for used sewing machine needles. The more difficult thing, that'll give you a little bit of a grip, but it's harder to push this in. I've also found that the big tailoring needles will do the trick as well, but the bulletin board push pin is my favorite. So I'm going to do this on paper because it'll make it a little bit clearer for you. So I just take my bulletin board push pin and I'm going to pretend the paper is my fabric. And now I've just created a little turntable. I use the push pin to affix the fabric to the mat. Now all I do is pick up a pin, and I'm going to show you, there's Sharpies. There's a tip on a Sharpie, and then there's the tip. I use the Pitt Artist pins. I don't know, it's just got a little bit finer. If you take a look at that, that point's a little bit finer. So let's just say I wanted a 2-inch finished circle. See, I can drag this around like so, and then I want my 1/4-inch seam allowance, so I come around like that, and I'm going to pull the pin out, and there you go. So here's my 1/4-inch seam allowance. Here's my finished result. And what's really neat about that is here's kind of the image of what, and it may be difficult to see, but I do have a seam allowance marked on this. Now, I'm sure someone out there is going to be saying, now, Kay, why on earth would I need that to draw a circle when I could use the bottom of a coffee cup? You can. But what you can't do is center. And what I love about this tool is I cut this circle with that rose centered by simply putting my bulletin board push pin smack in the center of that item. Now, if you had to do this with the bottom of the coffee cup, I'm betting you'll be most of the day trying to center that. And likewise, I'm going to pick up another piece and show you. So if I looked at this and said, gosh, I want that flower right there in the center, it's easy. So the real key, a lot of people go, well, okay, but what else are you going to do with your circle? Well, if you can take a look at this little quilt right here, then you'll be able to see that these circles were cut with this. Now, this is the same thing. This is another plate, and we've talked to you on videos about the kaleidoscope. This is a different degreed ruler, but see how that little center is centered smack on that tool. So that lets you get a very clean cut, and this is actually hand stitched down. And that's why I love my 1/4 inch seam allowance because I do needle turn applique on most of these, and I find that pretty easy. Now let me show you another, let me show you a really neat plate. And see, with that centered, this is something that I would have a very difficult time doing any other way. So that I can't make this any tougher. All you really need to do is have something that you want to put a center on. And you know what's funny? A lot of people will say, well, I don't even make circles. Well, look at these cute little yo-yos. Now, I can cut all day long any size circle, and I can make my yo-yos by just doing that little seam around the outside, drawing it up in the center, and I've got those little guys. Now, if the opening wasn't so large, I could put a yo-yo in there. This one's a little bit too big for that. So, that's it. Let me see what you do with your circles. Be sure and share with us, you know, the old routine, like the little thing, punch the little this, do that, and then tell us what you want to see. So the results of this really was to clarify some confusion about how you affix your tool down while you're drawing your template. If you have any questions about today's video, then leave it in the suggestion box right below. Have a good day.